My name is Agnes Quisumbing. I'm a senior research fellow in the Poverty, Gender, and Inclusion Unit of IFPRI. I think I've been at IFPRI almost 30 years. So I must say my favorite thing about working at IFPRI is the people. It's really unusual to have such a pool of talented, dedicated people working together who are all nice. I think you can find other places where you can have very smart people, very dedicated people, but I think at IFPRI, we really like to put our efforts towards solving important problems of poverty and food security. And I think that the problems are so complicated that if we don't work together well, it's just going to be very difficult. So I think IFPRI tends to attract the kind of people who work well and who thrive in this type of environment. My research at IFPRI has focused mainly on gender, inter-household allocation, and women's empowerment. I look at how the socially defined relationships between men and women affect how resources are allocated within the household, how they affect development outcomes. And I also recently have been looking at how to measure women's empowerment and gender equality and what difference that makes to development outcomes. So my favorite IFPRI memory actually relates to doing field work in Bangladesh and going back to a site that I had worked in 7 years earlier. And my memory when I first started doing field work in Bangladesh, which was the first field site I worked on at IFPRI, was that little children would come and they would ask for candy, and we'd give them candy to keep them quiet and stuff like that, so we could interview their parents. But 7 years later, we didn't see kids coming to us asking for candy anymore. What we would see was children in uniform coming back from school. And I was just so happy to see them. They were so excited about going to school. We took pictures together and they were curious, they were very bright. And I think that it shows that it really makes a difference to invest in schooling for young kids. So I came to IFPRI because I wanted to do research that could potentially affect people's lives. So if I stayed as an academic in an academic institution, I could perhaps be writing papers that nobody would read. But at IFPRI, I can see that our work directly influences the body of knowledge that policymakers can use to design and implement interventions and policies. And because I'm very interested in women's empowerment and gender equality, it helps to be able to provide evidence that shows that this is really a worthy goal and it's also achievable.